Why does movement make us feel better? Not just stronger or fitter, but lighter, calmer, more like ourselves again. I have felt it myself after I run, a workout, even a walk. But I wanted to understand what's actually happening inside the brain. What I have learned is movement doesn't just change my mood. Movement actually rewires our brain.
Call me Bucky.
When I go for a run, I'm not just doing it to change my body. I do it because it clears my head. And that's not just in my imagination. Research actually shows that movement changes the brain, especially the parts that help me stay calm, focused, and steady when life feels heavy. One of the first areas that responds to movement is called the prefrontal cortex. It is the front part of your brain, right behind your forehead. It helps you plan, make decisions, and regulate your emotions. When this part of the brain is more active and better connected, you are more likely to feel in control even in stressful situations. Regular exercise actually increases the prefrontal cortex's size and strengthens those connections. That is one of the reasons that I feel clearer and more grounded after I worked out. Strength training helps me feel stronger. Obviously. But what I didn't realize for a long time is how it helps my mind feel sharper. Lifting helps with memory, focus, and even mood swings. That is because of something called the hippocampus. That is a small curved part deep in the brain, and it is essential for memory and learning. It also plays a big role in how we handle stress. In people with depression or high levels of chronic stress, the hippocampus can shrink over time. But exercise supports the growth of new cells in this area, which helps improve memory and builds emotional resilience. It even helps protect the brain from age-related decline. There's a part of the brain called the anterior cingulate cortex. It sits between the emotional parts of the brain and the parts that control behavior. You can think of it like a bridge. It helps us notice what we are feeling and decide how to respond. When I exercise, this part of the brain becomes more active. That's what helps me pause.
Snack break.
Take a breath and respond with clarity instead of just reacting.
Okay, I need to stop. Wait, can you set this?
Then there's the parietal lobe, a region near the top of your brain. It helps you sense where your body is in space. It pulls together all the information from your eyes, skin, your joints, and so on, and creates a mental map of where you are in the world. During movement, this part of the brain becomes more active. It's what helps me feel grounded, like I'm really in my body. I'm here and not just stuck in my head. Movement also changes how large networks in the brain communicate. One of them is called the default mode network. It is active when your mind wanders, like when you are replaying a conversation or worrying about the future. If it is too active, it can lead to overthinking, rumination, and feeling mentally stuck. Then there is the frontal parietal network, and as you can hear, it's a network between the frontal and parietal lobe. This network helps with focus and flexible thinking. It lets you shift attention, solve problems, and adapt to change. Exercise helps these two networks work together better. The mind becomes more flexible. Thoughts move instead of circling. I stop spiraling and I return to the present, to the now. Movement doesn't fix everything, but it helps me feel like myself again, less overwhelmed, more steady, and less scattered. I'm sorry, but gym bro in me takes over sometimes. Exercise also changes the brain's chemistry. It boosts neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which play a big role in how we feel. It also increases something called the BDNF, that stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's a protein that helps the brain grow, adapt, and recover. These changes aren't just short-term mood boosts. They are part of why regular physical activity helps protect mental health long-term. The brain becomes more resilient, more open to change, and gets the space it needs to heal. So when I move, I'm not doing it to hit a goal. I'm doing it to care for my brain, for my future, and that is enough.